What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Cul-de-sac and the Neighbors podcast. I'm Mitchell, and I'm joined by Michelle and Kolbi. What's up, guys?
Hey.
From Wayward and Wow?
Yeah, that is us.
When did that start? How long has it been?
Almost 3 years now.
Almost 3 years.
That's not that long. That's like, in terms of a business.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's really not.
I feel like I have a little tiny toddler monster I'm trying to feed.
It's true.
Is it fun?
It's fun. It is amazing. I have absolutely no regrets whatsoever. It's hard. Like, I have so much respect for any other small local business owners, any business owner in general, anybody that's really like getting their grind and going after what they care about.
Yeah.
Mad respect. I don't care what it is, because it is hard. But
it's hard, but it's one of those things that's worth it and rewarding.
Yeah.
You know, you're building your own dream. You're not building somebody else's dream.
Yeah. Which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What were you guys doing 3 years ago before you started?
We were both zipline guides out at Tree to Tree Adventure Park. I was there for about 5 years. Kolbi was there for 4. Yeah. And we loved that job, actually. There's times where we still miss it. And honestly, I'm kind of like, maybe I can go back for the weekends and still do it because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we knew this is where we wanted to go, and we wanted to do our own thing and be in charge of our own lives.
Right. You guys have known each other for like fucking ever. Right?
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how long?
Like,
20 years now?
20.
Dude, it's not crazy to say.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
2 decades.
Yeah.
We met in kindergarten,
Yep.
actually. But her mom was the nurse in the room for my mom when she had me.
Oh,
Which
what
is
the
like
fuck?
the doctor nurse, right? Like, what are the odds of that? We're like some weird cosmic soul connection. Like, yo, we're going to be BFFs, because...
I need to find something.
Okay, find your
I
thing.
had like a picture book of like when I was a kid. I need to show you guys this shit.
Yeah, I want to see. Should we? Oh, by the way, my name's Kolbi. This is my voice, so you can identify it.
And I'm Michelle,
Yeah.
so you can identify me.
If you can see our photos ever, I'm the brown-haired one.
And I'm the
Well, I'll show you
blonde.
guys a picture of one because I have it on my Instagram story. Maybe you guys have already seen it. This is Colin, John, and I.
Oh my gosh.
2nd grade.
Cute.
I was thinking about this the
That's
other day.
adorable.
Was like all my friends that I have, I've known for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have a bunch of new friends. I have some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin I've known since kindergarten. Devin I've known since kindergarten. I've known like Jesse since 4th grade, Ray since 5th, Doug since 5th. Like all these people, James I've known since 4th grade. All these people I've known for a really, really long time. And I've been there forever. Do you guys have a lot of friends that you, I mean, I know that you both, because you guys have kind of like expanded into different areas, I'm sure you guys meet a lot of people. But like, my definition of friends, probably different than your guys' definition of friend, but like how many people do you feel like, oh, those were the people I've known since elementary school, they've been my friend for forever, that's it? Or do you guys hang out with a lot of new people?
Both.
Yeah.
Because, like, you think about, like, Kristen.
That's
we've
true.
both known since 3rd grade.
I've known her since kindergarten.
You've known her since kindergarten.
Yeah.
I think I met both you guys in 6th grade.
Yeah, we met in 6th grade. Like, and a lot of my, still good friends, like Sarah and Kaylee and...
Sarah's engaged. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's not really insane, though. Like, it's great.
We're at that
It's awesome,
age
but we're
where
there,
it's
right?
happening.
Yeah, it's like, I always say that. It's like, wow, that's so crazy. And it's like, it's not really that crazy. It's kind
pretty
of
normal at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
And but I saw it and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because I remember the last time I saw her, we were at Kaylee's house, just hanging out. Yeah. I don't remember why.
Yeah.
No, I do remember why. You guys were doing something. Michelle, I don't know if you were there. I don't think you were though.
Maybe
But you were going to like pick up Sarah from work at like the Red Robin she worked at, or you're gonna go say hi or do something. This was like 3. This might have been 3 years ago, like right after you guys had started. And I remember I had bought the I think it was a Bear Mandela.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you had dropped it off and you told me, and I wasn't doing anything. And you're like, oh, we're going to go do this. I'm like, can I come?
Sure, let's go.
And then we went and we picked up Daniel Hodges.
Oh.
Kristen,
what
Sarah.
What did we do? I remember that.
We went to Red Robin and we saw Sarah and ate. And then everyone went over to Kaylee's house. And that was the last time I saw like Kristen and Sarah.
Oh, wow.
But I remember talking to Sarah and because she was like, I don't know, like too much. Like she just like, I don't want to put a label on it. And it was like, okay, well, if someone were to ask you out right now or get your number, would you say yes? And she said no. I'm like, then you're fucking dating the dude. Like, just go, like, just date him. Like, just be all in. And then, like, I think, like, maybe a month or two later, she was moving to San Diego. That's where she's at, right?
Yeah.
And then now she's married.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a couple years later.
It's crazy.
Well, now they're gonna move to Colorado, right?
Yeah,
We're at
Denver.
Do you know Denver?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I lived in Longmont for a little bit.
Right.
Colorado's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that area.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like I didn't have a great experience. Like, my life at the time wasn't dope, but so like I didn't have that great of time. I didn't explore.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. The mountains were like right there. Like they're like
right there. You're
fucking
looking
right
at
there.
eyeballing them.
Yeah, like right outside my apartment. They're just there. But I just never got into anything because it just wasn't cool for me there. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So at what point, like did you guys have the idea together? Like, you're sitting around, hey, we should come up, like, we should do a clothing line thing, or were you like, did one of you guys have the idea and go to the other person, or?
I think we both knew that we wanted to do something together in creative because we're both such creative people.
Yeah.
And I think because of what Kolbi's dad does, that opportunity was just like right there.
Yeah.
And we talked about it.
That's fair.
For
cheaper, probably
years.
Easier, you know.
We talked about it for years before we're like, okay, we really need to actually do this, or we need to shut up about it.
Okay.
Like, actually do it. And I think what really actually got it going was because the year that I got ran over and the year that Michelle had to have her second knee surgery, we were like stuck on our asses. We couldn't do anything. And so it kind of really like forced us from like being active all the time to really like hone in and be like, let's make things. Let's do it. Let's do that. And I remember we signed up for, what was it? The Christmas Bazaar?
Yeah, that was our first market.
That was our first market, our first debut. We didn't even have t-shirt designs yet. We're like, pressure's on, make some shit, figure it out.
That has to be like a great way to do it.
Yeah.
I was talking, because Jesse was here earlier when we recorded. We were talking about like waking up in the morning. Like, oh, I used to hate waking up early. And like, I think I still, like, my body does. But like when I wake up and it's like 10 or like 10:30, I'm like, fuck. Like, I just wasted so much goddamn time. And it's proven that your brain is most active in the morning. Like, you get the most shit done then. But if I know that I don't have anything to do, then I'm going to just snooze the alarm. Yeah. Or to turn it off. Right, but when you know you have something to do, like, even your body wakes up, like, even more energized almost. Like, I know I have stuff to do. Especially if you really like it. Yeah. So putting that, like, we have to do it. Like, we can't not show up. We have to do something and get it going. But like, at what point did you guys go like, okay, we're good enough? Like, yeah, we're good. Like, we could do this. There had to have been something changed in your brain.
I think it literally was. It's just that we were both on our butts, and from her getting ran over, me having my second knee surgery, and we talked about it for so long, and I think we're both kind of people that it's just like, you constantly hear people just talking about things that they're going to do something and talk. And I'm like, well, we don't want to be the people that just talk. Yeah. We want to do it and prove to other people that we can. Yeah. Yeah. Prove to ourselves.
That we can build something for ourselves. Like, especially to be an outdoorsy woman is one thing. To be an outdoorsy woman with an outdoorsy business is actually another too. Like, just women business owners don't really get a lot of credit or recognition.
Sure. Well, even the industry that we worked in for 5 years, it's like being, we were both kind of up there, and, it was not a common thing to have a female working in that kind of environment. It just wasn't like, very common.
As working like a climbing outdoorsy woman, climbing trees, being a zip tour for like, being a zip tour guide or just aerial obstacle course guide. So like the aerial obstacle courses was one side of the park and the zip tour was the other.
Yeah, we did. Have you guys ever been to Camp Dakota or like seen anything? They do like they do
like challenge course kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the person who was with us was a girl, and she fucking just, it's so crazy. I don't like heights already, and that's why I did it, was because I was like, I want to, like, I know I'm safe. Yeah, and I'm not, however, thousands of feet above the ground for skydiving, and I'm not jumping off something for bungee jumping that could potentially snap or like wrap around my neck, right? Like, I'm good. Yeah. So I did that, and I remember like the first one was like fucking hella wobbly, and the girl just, I'm like, oh my god, like, and my girlfriend Tanya, she's super crazy about it. Like, she doesn't bother her at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
And that's what, it's like, that, I guess that's true. I guess you don't really see a bunch of like girls interested in it.
And it's weird too, because like just the weird looks that we would get, because we were lead guides, right? So we're like the rescue guides. We're the ones that are getting the people that are having their crazy fear responses out of the trees. And sometimes that's a 250-pound dude. And we're little like 100-pound girls that they're looking at, they're like, you're not going to get me out of this tree. Or like they'll give you attitude. I'll be like, yo, you're not ready to climb up on that hardest course there, bro. You got to get through a couple of these first because you were struggling on the easiest one. And he's like, no, I'm macho man. Yeah. I climb up. And then I'm like, guess who gets stuck up there, and guess who's rescuing you, and like your ego's getting checked here, bro. But
I think that's good for people though.
Yeah.
Like it's probably really annoying to deal with, but like I dealt with that all the time just at Cinetopia with any type of person. It didn't matter like gender or whatever. Like people who just think they know more than you, or just I'm the customer so I can do whatever I want type thing.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I did like the full the lower end, so like 25 feet, and then you can climb up and go like 75.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck that. So I didn't do it because I was like, It's like the first one was like getting in this fucking wheelbarrow on a line, and I was like, nah. Like I'm not supposed to be this
crawling this wheelbarrow.
How used to like working at heights we got was like insane. It'd be to the point where we're on our tallest platform on the park, which is like 85 feet, and it was just like nothing.
Yeah, it might have been that high. I don't know. It was too high for me. I'm not gonna
like looking over the edge.
You have to like rappel down, and it's like stuff that, I don't know. Like,
well, stuff you're not used to doing, and honestly, everything in your brain for survival is telling you not to do it, because if you were to fall, you're supposed to have that.
Yeah.
I'm not about it.
So it's overcoming that little, voice in the back of your head that's like, don't do it.
Yeah, it's weird though, because like zip lining didn't bother me at all.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like because I zip lined in Barbados, and like I did a bunch of that kind of stuff, and it didn't bother me at all. But for whatever reason, like having to like not having my balance of being like, oh shit, like going on something that's moving and like wobbly, like I don't know, it was hard. It was really hard, and the weirder part too is as I've gotten older, like I've gotten like less and less athletic, because like when I was younger would have been fine. I'm like, oh, this shit's easy. But as I got older, it's like I played basketball yesterday and I could just feel like, oh, I can't move the same way that I used to be able to, and that's not it's just because I haven't done it anymore. Like my body's not used to it. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I think what they need to do is make people like dangle, like, here, we'll prove it to you, you can't fall. Like, you're good. Like, your shit's not going to break.
Well, if we had somebody that was really freaked out, that's actually one of the things we would tell them, and be like, sit down in your harness.
Yeah.
That's as far as you're going to get.
Yeah.
And then they feel that, it's just like trusting the gear, that little sense of security and know what it's going to feel like if you fall.
Yeah.
That the harness is going to hold you.
I think if I did it again, I would go higher. But yeah, the thing was like, you have the clips that clip on the wire, and then but they both can't be unclipped, or you have to do something special to do it.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. When you guys were doing that, did you guys like swinging from shit to shit, like talking to you, like, oh, we should do this fucking Bear Mandela shit? like how much of your guys' design, like being outdoorsy and being there, had to sway some stuff, for sure.
All of our like creative influences are definitely from our outdoorsy nature, and that job, like. And we didn't talk about it a lot at work, just because there was so much going on. Like, you're trying to get people out of trees or sending them down zip lines and like that kind of thing. So it's like so fast paced, and it's like you're talking to people, meeting people from like all over the world, because that's just kind of like the kind of people that come in there.
Yeah, I guess it's more like a touristy type thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But because like we lived together, and I don't know, I just remember like coming home and we would just be talking, and we're like, Michelle's always been creative. I've always been creative. Like, I did
by PCC.
Yeah, the townhouse over there. Oh yeah. And because it started there, actually.
It did. We were living there the first year when we started it.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy to think about. This is like a whole different lifetime.
Forever ago.
But
it is, right? Like, new chapter.
Yeah. And I remember us just kind of, so we also, prior to the zipline thing, worked retail jobs. And we've always liked fashion and like clothing and that kind of thing.
I fucking hate retail though. I consider Cinetopia
it's the most soul-sucking job, especially that you get people that just, let out their problems on customer service people because they can't say anything back.
Like, I have so much respect for customer service workers.
Dude, you guys don't even... Some shit that was said at Cinetopia is like... You're like, what is happening? I wasn't there this time, but like... There's been some stuff said to like female employees and male employees, like black male employees. Like, just shit that gets said and you're just like... What? How do you think you're even going to get your way? Like, when you say shit like that, I don't understand. Or like one time I asked this lady to stop talking. It was during the first It, so like 2 years ago or something like that. Her and her boyfriend were like super drunk, and it was late. It was like an 11 o'clock movie, so it was like 12-ish. And so I went and asked them to like stop talking, and I was like, she wouldn't stop, and she was like arguing with me. There's not very many people in the movie. There's like 10. And so I was like, okay, you got to go. Like, you have to leave. And she just, like, sunk into her chair, and she's like, you can't touch me, so I'm not leaving. It's like, all right.
You can just be an asshole for everybody else trying to watch this creepy-ass movie right now, okay?
And it was like, and the thing is like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie.
But, the first one?
I have, yeah.
I had nightmares about that.
I loved it.
It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
It's actually great. I love scary movies.
Yeah, the second one, if you haven't seen it yet, is good. The first one's better in my opinion.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen the second one yet. I wanted to, but it was 3 hours long.
Yeah, it is long. Yeah, the acting is good. Obviously, like, I mean, you have Jessica, you have James McAvoy, Bill Hader, like, all these really good actors. So all of it's really good, but it's just a lot that happens. They almost split it into 2 parts.
Dang.
Because they wanted to, they stayed really close to like the source material.
Oh, good. That's good.
But the movie's funny. Like, the first chapter of it is funny. It's like the Sandlot horror movie. Like, it's hilarious. The people, like, so laughing loud or laughing and then screaming because it can be creepy and terrifying. That all makes sense. But they're like having full blown like, how was your dinner conversation. Like, you can't do that. And then this lady proceeded to come out and yell at me for like 30 minutes. And I'm just like sitting there like, it's 12:30.
Yeah.
Like, just shut up and watch the movie. Like, it's not that hard.
You're missing it.
You need to watch the movie.
My first job was at Abercrombie too. So like, I know that side, and it was downtown right by Pioneer Square.
Oh gosh. Bless your soul.
My first day, Black Friday.
Bless your soul.
It was terrible. And like, the job
what an
was okay,
introduction.
like, the people there, but the people coming in were just, you just go and you're like, oh, I just fixed this thing, and this is like, looks like someone exploded the shirts you just folded. Mm-hmm. Where did you guys work for retail?
I was the assistant manager at a PacSun.
PacSun? I knew that. I knew that.
I was a sales lead at an Express.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't sound thrilled.
Yeah, that was
It wasn't bad. I really love my coworkers. My boss was awesome. I
think a lot of times that's what keeps people at places is the people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hated the hours of Cinetopia, but a lot of the people I really enjoyed to work with.
Yeah.
So that's why I stayed for as long. And I love movies, so there's that too.
Yeah.
I really didn't dislike the company that much either. Like, the company wasn't bad to work for. Like, you know, sometimes I'd set unrealistic goals, but I mean, I understand why.
And what about you for PacSun? Like, because I assume you didn't start as an assistant manager. Maybe you did.
No, I started as a little sales. That was actually my first job. Started as a little sales.
So you worked your way up. Like, how was PacSun? PacSun's owned by a bigger company, right?
It's weird now. I was right at the transition where it actually moved from like the actual surf skate culture into more forward fashion lifestyle. And I did not like being part of that. I was like, I belong in that surf skate, like,
more zoomies,
zoomies
kind of
vibe, but not the Kardashian crop tops that show your underboob kind of thing.
I was gonna say, like, fashion
tasteful
has really
underboob.
Yeah, tasteful underboob.
It really has changed though.
Yeah,
Like, I was driving and right by 185th and Farmington for Dutch Brothers, and like, they're like, you know, like 13-year-old girls, and they're wearing like this shit, and you're just like, dude. And like, you look at pictures side by side of like what we look like when we were 13 and like what now people like, guys and stuff. It's like,
Michelle and I look
like boys.
Until we were like 16.
Seriously.
Like, we can find, like, post photos. We were like bloomers. We acted like boys. I was like, yo, can I wear these basketball shorts and this t-shirt and just put my hair in the same low bun?
Yeah.
I think that, like,
I hated the color pink.
Yeah.
That's something though that I think it's cool to see, like, the transformation of things, but it also, for me growing up, girls who were like super preppy girl or like really girly girls were really hard to become friends with.
Really?
Because I just have nothing in common with you.
Oh, yeah, okay. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a disconnect in that.
Yeah,
lifestyle.
and then there's like some girls who are like in between that.
Yeah.
Or some girls who are all on the tomboy side or whatever.
You're different tomboys.
Yeah, but like
still are.
But like that made it easy because you could kind of like do the same shit that you wanted to do as like a young kid or as like a young boy. Like I want to fucking jump on a trampoline and play football, and like you had a like people. That's what you guys did, and it was like way easy to have a conversation or hang out. Yeah, because just like-minded people, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. What did you get? How do you guys get hurt all the time? This is what I want to know. So you have had 2 knee surgeries.
Yes.
And you've died 12 times. Every time I talk to you, I'm like, dang, like she just wasted one of her cat 9 lives.
Hopefully, I got my that like bad things come in threes. Hopefully, my 3 are like done now.
What were your 3?
3 were waking up to a car running me over.
That's an insane thing.
Yeah, who does that happen to?
Were you in a tent?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so
like
probably didn't help, but still.
We were in so it was like a circle of tents, with like the community area in the middle. You're surrounded by all of the Oregon Country Fair, actually. Okay. You're surrounded by like coolers and chairs and tables.
Yeah, like all your camp
shit. Because the social area is in the middle. And it was the last night, and it was a clear night, so 4 of us decided to sleep out under the stars, because we're like, hey, it's the last night, it's nice, like, let's look at the stars, let's do all that. Wake up at 9:30 in the morning. It's like broad daylight. It's daylight at that time. Right.
Well, and I had just gotten up because I was laying next to her and got up 5 minutes prior to this happening. I would have been ran over if I hadn't gotten up.
Well, like ran over like to get to her.
Like, yeah, they would have ran over me first and then ran over her.
And Michelle had gotten up literally 5 minutes prior and is like watching me getting ran over. Yeah. As our friend Jason and Boss at the Tree Park is laying next to me, and he's the one, like, it runs over my left foot and then up onto my right knee and calf and like stops on it as Jason's like waking up, and I'm like screaming, like, and
he's like pounding on the car.
Is that literally what you woke up to?
Yeah. I literally woke up to a car on top of me. Oh god. Yeah. So, like, and honestly, if I'm to talk about the hardest part of that is literally the PTSD from, like, the fight or flight response that my brain had. Like, I couldn't sleep. Like, the physical aspects, like, I was bedridden for a long time.
8
like,
months.
Michelle was, for like...
Did you have to have surgery on that, too?
Didn't have to have surgery. It was really bad soft tissue damage. But I had, this foot was, like, hairline fractures. I had to wear a boot in that.
In your left foot?
In my left foot, and then my right calf and knee basically ran over it from the left side, stopped on top, and then ran back over it going right. Yeah. So, like, my kneecap still to this day, all the ligaments and tendons and everything that hold it there are, like, stretched out and wonky. And it don't... So, like, if I'm to try to do any explosive movements, like takeoff sprinting or jump without calculating my hop, my knee will freak out. Buckle. Yeah, and like my Achilles is kind of messed up. They were talking about doing an Achilles lengthening surgery, which is like gnarly. Yeah. This was back before. Then I was like, I'm gonna do everything to just like stretch this guy out. Yeah. And it's not. I don't have full mobility in it, but I have the majority of it back. And yoga and stretching is literally like prime. Yeah. For that, so pretty grateful. That was about 4 years ago.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was rough.
I remember the first couple of days, like, before she had her wheelchair, I was, like, dragging her back and forth to the bathroom on a sleeping bag.
Yeah. Like, this was, like, gnarly. This
what
was,
a good friend.
Yeah, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, like, prime co-pilot right here.
Yeah. Good person to go to business with.
Right? Yeah. I think the most solid reason for us, like, being in business together, too, is that we know, like, we were talking about it, because we've been friends for 20 years now. Somebody was talking to us and they're like, hey, you guys could get married and statistically your marriage is like set to last, because like the average marriage after 7 years is kind of the make or break point. Okay. And we're like, well, we've been friends for longer than 7 years, so if we were to get married, we'd have a pretty solid marriage. Yeah, it'd be great. So it's like looking at that from a business perspective, I think we're pretty solid. Yeah. And we just know each other so well, and we're such similar people. Yeah. That it I don't know, when we have any conflict, it is resolved quickly, Yeah. Or like we know how to communicate. Yeah, we know each other. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think people a lot of times don't really realize how, like, if you just say what you mean, like all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna reduce the chances of somebody like really being mad at you.
The power of authenticity.
Yeah, like if you just say, like if you're just open and honest, and it's you always find it too. Like if you do try it in lie and then you get caught in your lie, like if you would have just said what it was at the beginning, like it would have fixed a lot of the issues. I get that it can be hard to.
Well, and I don't think people realize, because people tell us all like, oh, how fun that you get to go into business with your best friend and all, I mean, she's practically like my sister at this point, but I'm not going to lie, being in business with, I think since we've been in business is when we've, had the most conflict. Not that there's a lot or anything like that, or that's super bad. Like Kolbi said, it resolves really easily, but I don't think, it's like adding.
There's more at stake.
There's more at stake, and there's just more pressure. I don't really know how else to describe it, but it's definitely added.
Like finances are wrapped up in each other.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of well-being there, and the fact that we spend so much time together.
Yeah.
And that it's like we're family.
Yeah.
So it's like definitely Wayward and Wild, by no like no doubt about that one. But it is so worth it.
Yeah. That's super cool. And how did you hurt your knee? Same knee?
Same knee. I actually didn't do anything to it. I have a bone disease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called osteochondritis dessicans.
That's a name.
Yeah, right.
Look that up later?
Yeah. Basically, I have
they won't be able to spell it.
How do you spell that?
It's true.
Osteoarthritis. What?
It's not arthritis.
If Devin was here, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know what that is."
Devin's a doctor, right?
He's
Isn't he a gynecologist?
No.
What is he?
He's
That'd be funny.
in his first year of med school.
What is he gonna be?
I think right now it's between orthopedic surgeon and anesthesiologist.
Oh dang.
One of the two, yeah.
Cool. That stinks.
But like, I remember I was talking to him about some shit, and I was talking to him about you. I was like, she had to have she was awake during her surgery. And he's like, yeah, dude. And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, like that's not that.
Yeah,
can't be
weird.
like that's not a common thing, right? He's like, no, it is. Like,
actually, most brain surgeries you're awake for too.
Like
yeah, you have to do brain surgery. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like it. But so you had to get surgery twice, and is that like?
So
how does it repair, or what do they? Do you know what they do?
Yeah, so I was really young when I was diagnosed, and basically it was found. So basically, I have a piece of dead bone at the end of my femur, in my knee joint, and how it was discovered, I basically just complained for a long time that my knee hurt until my mom finally got tired of me complaining about it and actually took me in, and lo and behold, there's actually a problem. But yeah, so initially I went quite a few years without having anything done for it, and I was in elementary school when I was diagnosed, but I was told for a long time that I wasn't allowed to run on it, no jumping, and telling a kid in elementary school not to run.
Yeah, to do shit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. And I was put in knee braces, like this one knee brace that pulls your knee joint apart, so when you walk it doesn't put pressure on that piece of bone. And then finally because I had one of the top orthopedic surgeons in Oregon, Dr. Weintraub, was actually one of your doctor at one point too.
Devin might honestly know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah. So he was my son, and I'm the youngest person that he's operated on for this disease. Okay. And he basically told me that if I didn't have the surgery, I wouldn't be walking by the time I was 25. Because what can happen over time as you're walking on it, the bone can actually become dislodged from the healthy bone, and then lock your joint out. Like one of the symptoms is joint locking. So the surgery was to drill holes through the bone marrow, because basically my body, somehow it died. They don't know what causes it, but my body pretty much just ignored it. Okay. It stopped trying to heal it. It was just there. Yeah. So the whole concept was to re-injure that piece of bone through to the stem cells, so my body would realize something's wrong there. You need to go heal it and replenish it. And after that surgery, I wasn't allowed to walk for a month and a half, and I was in a brace and all sorts of stuff. And, I don't know if it worked or not, because then, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago now, I had the second knee surgery because I was just having more pain. Yeah.
You should dislocate it playing soccer too or something.
Yeah, I partially dislocated my knee playing soccer, and when it came back into joint, because I had somebody hit my knee, and then when I fell over, and when I hit the ground, it knocked it back into place. So I got really lucky that I didn't have to go to the hospital and have my knee put back into joint.
Yeah.
But anyway, after that, as I noticed a significant increase in pain, so I had a second surgery.
Doing the same thing. The only other option I have for surgeries past this point would be to completely take that piece of bone out and fit it with bone from somewhere else in my body and or knee replacement, but they refuse to do that before I'm 40. Yeah. It's also like, where do you get bone from? Like, don't you need the bone?
They would just take it. They would just take it from that. I think they said they would just take it from my hip or something.
Oh, interesting. Shit like that's wild to me.
Right.
So I was cool. I'm really into, I don't know why I am, but I'm really into like chiropractor stuff.
Yeah.
Because so many times I've been told, like I listen to like people talk about it, and some people like swear by it. It's like it's the best thing in the world. And then other people you talking to like, yeah, but it's how it started was like a crock of shit. Like the guy who like invented it or like really started doing that kind of medicine, like did it because it made it because he could make sounds, and it made it sound like he was doing some shit. But he didn't really know what he was doing.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's
funny. And so people are like, "Oh, he's healing my ass." I mean, at one point, if you had the flu, they like drained your blood. Like this will fit.
Yeah,
this will
heal.
That's
you. Like you get migraines.
Bloodletting. They put leeches on you. Drain the toxin
when you get headaches in your head.
Like, yeah, it's like do this shit. Yeah. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just really interested. So now I'm just interested to see like why. Like, does somebody like me need it, or does somebody who has like a really bad issue? So I've been watching this guy's name's Dr. Ian. If you YouTube him. There's this guy, this Indian guy who walks in, and he is like hunched over, like basically his like literally like his like fingers can like touch the ground.
Jeez.
Like, he's that messed up, and he's young. He hasn't even graduated high school.
Poor guy. Aww.
And he fixes him in like 14 days.
Dude, what?
Yeah, and like just the stuff that he does. So then it's like, okay, like there's an obvious, and he'd been to doctors, and doctors like, we can't do shit. Like there's nothing we can do. And this guy like basically fixes him in less than a month, and he looks completely different. Like he's probably like 6'3". So, like, he can actually stand up straight and walk and, like, do stuff. It's like, okay, there's something there, but I don't know, like, how much it would help me who's not hunched, who's not, like, here. So, I still don't know that, but I've been watching that, and so it's just crazy, like, how medicine has evolved and, like, what can be done. Like, that, we'll just take bone from somewhere else.
We'll just take that.
Wait.
Out. It's fine.
Do I need that bone?
Don't I need that where it is?
That thing? So, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, like, skin grafts?
Yeah, skin grafts are nuts.
The fact that they're 3D printing aortas.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. There's so much stuff. It's crazy. Well, like I've been reading a lot about Neuralink, which is Elon Musk's like basically implanting a computer into your brain.
Yes. That like that Joe Rogan Elon Musk podcast with the AI, and like that I want.
Yeah, he talks about how basically like we're basically all already androids.
Yeah.
Was it androids that he's talking about? Basically because our phones are an extension of us. Mm-hmm. So basically because we use our phones so often, and because our phones remember all this shit, it knows you like really well. And it knows what you like, knows what you don't like, which is cool and also super scary. But basically they can put these fucking wires basically in your brain, and you can control shit like electronically or like telepath. I don't know how it works. It's insane.
This is my perception on like what I was like reading about that is that essentially, so if you're taking your phone to like, so you have a thought in your head.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, let me Google this. And then you have to take the time to like think the thought, have your thumbs act, pull up the screen, type in the link, the Google search, look it up, scroll through the information, data link. And it's like, it's like DSL, like, or like dial up compared to high speed internet.
Exactly.
So like,
it's a bandwidth problem. So
yeah.
Us as the reason why he's inventing this is because all these like engineers are creating these AI that are fucking insane. Like so insane that they've had people had two of them in the room, and they were teaching each other like their own language. And so the people who made them had no idea what the fuck they were saying.
Oh, didn't that happen with the Facebook supercomputers, and they had to like shut them down?
Off. Yeah, they had to shut them off because they were like
talking to each other in a
language no one knew, and they were like, like this is not cool. Like we have to turn it off. And so Elon's like, please stop. Like stop doing all of this, and they won't. So he's like, okay, I have to try and do something to make sure that like, if you want to, humans can keep up.
Yeah.
Right. And so because there's the bandwidth problem, because there's that speed, we can't do everything as fast as like what the computer can do in terms of rendering all the information. So he'll give you a link to fucking fix that. And it's like, yeah, it's cool, but at what point, like, what information can be extracted from your brain? I don't know. But also, like, I don't know any of this shit, but I've watched enough sci-fi movies to know probably not a good idea. All of it.
Right.
What I thought was super interesting about that concept is that, like, having a brain overlay like that and doing a procedure like that would be affordable. Because
yeah, they can do it in like minutes.
Well, not only that, but affordable in the sense, like, no matter how much it costs, once you have this brain, like, you're going into debt for this procedure, whatever is like a credit line or whatever.
Yeah.
The amount of brain power and capacity and endless information and earning potential you have after just getting that, you can pay that back.
Yeah.
Like, it just opens up so much.
Yeah, you'd have a wealth of info for sure.
Yeah, but then it's like, how does that start separating?
But also, how does your brain take it? Is there too much information? How many times have you been talking to someone, the music's been on and the TV, and you're just like, whoa, some shit needs to turn off.
True. Oh,
I feel like that'd be me.
Yeah, you're just like, no, I can't take that much input.
I wonder if they'll make it with like some sort of like
on-off
just mute
switch. That bitch.
Yeah. Mute this constant Google search engine in my brain.
Well, and it's like, at what point do we, at that, what makes me start thinking about, at what point do we, do this, and then there's the next thing, and then at one point are we just not human anymore?
Yeah.
It's like our brains are supercomputers, but there's a reason we can only access 10% of our consciousness at a time.
Yeah, very well.
Do you think that, I don't know, the one thing that we still haven't done with science is like that like creative spark that humans inherently have, or that like that essence of a human, like in the sense like the soul of a human, it cannot really be recreated. So like I can tell you about Michelle all day long, but you are still not gonna know Michelle until she's physically in the presence. Well, and like that essence still has not been.
Did you guys see Us? Movie Us.
We did. I did.
Did we see Us? What was that one about?
That was the really.
It's basically what you're talking
creepy
about.
With the people, like alter ego people that from like down
below.
Tethered.
Oh,
that movie was trippy.
That's what that's. Jordan Peele says it's about something different, but that's what it's about. I thought it was an allegory on AI, like because they're trying to create you, but they couldn't. That's why they're tethered. It's because the government couldn't figure out how to attach a soul, so they had to tether them to somebody with a soul. Like that's what it was.
We were talking like an ego.
I talked about on
for sure
like your true self versus your like ego self, and them having to like mirror each other and learn and like how to like cut the tie with your ego or let your ego take over.
There is some. I think that there's definitely an argument to be made for that too.
Yeah.
Just it's so funny like when you watch a movie like that that's pretty interesting. It's really pretty original. Like, okay, what is this about? And then you listen to the director and the person who wrote it talk about it, and you're like, don't like that. I'm gonna make up my own shit. He's like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's an allegory for AI. 100%. They're trying to create something else and trying to basically, how far can we go to like make you look and act and behave as human without actually being human? Allegory for AI. He's like, nah, that's not what it's about. I'm like, Jordan, you fucked up, man. That's what it's about. That is what it's about.
That's what it's about to be.
Yeah, and
creative interpretation,
man.
It
was a cool movie. It's so weird and it's like good and bad at the same time. It totally depends on how much imagination and your own thought process you want to put into that movie, I think.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really like Get Out all that much. Like I thought it was good, but I wasn't like a super fan of Get Out.
Yeah, that one was okay.
Yeah.
That's the one with the old them sneaking into the house, right?
No. Get Out is the one.
Was that the racist?
Yeah, I mean
I remember.
It's like sort of racist, but actually they like think that black people are like superior. They do
because they're putting
themselves into that body. So that's why it was like a weird like people are like, wow, they're fucking racist. Like no, like they want that body. Like they know they're like, my white body isn't as good as your black body, but my brain might be better than yours. So if I can put my brain in your body, now we're good to go. So like that was their thing, was that they would lure black people and then transfer people who are going to die, their consciousness and their like brain into that body. And that's why they were all like, there was like parts of them. It's like, it was cool. The really shitty part is I have this really bad habit of coming up with ideas that are very similar to things that launch like that then these things do. So they redid. Okay, I told my cousin, because my cousin works in Hollywood. I told my cousin, hey, we need to reboot Power Rangers, and it needs to be rated R, because all of us who like enjoyed Power Rangers when we were a kid are now adults, and we want some violent Power Rangers. Like, we want some cool shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Grow these Power Rangers up.
Yeah. And so, well, like, okay, so like it's like teens with attitude. That's like what the thing was. But like, imagine if you even look at the stereotypical parts of what Power Rangers were. The Red Ranger's like the leader. That's like the jock, super bat, like uses his jock powers. That's close.
Really dangerous.
To like influence whatever. Then you have like the blue guy who's kind of like nerdy, techie. He's a hacker.
Yeah.
Right? Like all these different things can be used as like you can change slightly and just make them more adult. It would have been wild.
That's true.
And then like literally 3 months to like 6 months down the line, somebody made a fan-made rated R Power Rangers movie. Like a 30-minute like, or maybe it was like 20-minute of like, this is what happens when you give these kids powers and they grow up and they just become like these nasty people basically.
There's a playing on that idea, supposedly there's some like consciousness theory like that goes along with how we're all connected, is that as soon as you have an idea,
someone else gets it too.
Someone else has it too.
Well, Jordan Peele needs to stop stealing my fucking ideas then.
You just gotta do it first.
Like, you just gotta do it. So it's like whenever you got that brilliant idea, somebody else has probably thought about it, but who's gonna act on it?
He
That's
was
the
like,
real question.
My cousin was like, yeah, like you could do it, but you can't make it Power Rangers because you don't own the rights, so you have to do something else. I was like, yeah.
Effort.
No. Yeah, I was like, I don't like. It's got to be that
Rangers.
thing. Like that's what has. And so then he sent me that, and he's like, look, dude, like you came up with this idea, basically, or like the idea to make it more adult. And then I had an idea when I was writing that I would create like a horror novel that the serial killer uses hypnotherapy to like trap them into a dream state and be like a Freddy Krueger. Ooh. Like that was like a twist on that. And then Get Out comes out, and it's very similar to that because it's like hypnotherapy, put you in a dark place, you can't fucking do anything, and now we're going to do whatever the hell we want to you.
Okay, well, maybe you just need to get in contact with him.
I just need to do some shit.
You need to talk to him.
Yeah,
I feel like, yo, plot ideas. Run with this.
Yeah, I have a really cool book idea that I'm going to start in November.
Yeah?
Sweet. Yes.
Like, I think it's going to be really cool. But I have to execute it really well because it's going to be, like, super intricate in terms of, like, technology, using tech.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'll tell you about it off because I don't want anyone to steal it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Somebody started thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you to do it.
Who's going to actually do it?
Because there's this thing called National Novel Writing Month. And so it's in 30 days or 31 days, write 50K words. And then they help you, like, try and help you get in contact with people to edit and publish it and all that shit.
Cool.
So I'm going to do that. But, okay. So we talked about both of you guys in terms of personal stuff. We talked a little bit about Wayward and Wild. But we talked about the start, not where you guys are at and what you guys have learned. So that's what I'm really interested in, because everyone can, like, you can start, you can print stuff on a hoodie, but like getting it into places to sell. Yeah. The manufacturers, getting it printed, getting it shipped, sending to people, like there's so much shit that goes with it, So like, how did you guys start? You guys sign up for the Christmas Bazaar?
Yeah, the Portland Christmas Bazaar.
Portland Christmas Bazaar. We're like, we don't know what we're doing. We're going to do this one.
You guys signed up for that.
Just went in blind.
So I think this is a really good disclaimer. We went into this knowing absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
perfect.
We know nothing.
We are doing this from the fly of our pants. Like we don't know
Wayward
what
and
we're
Wild
doing,
to
but
a core.
we're doing it kind of thing. So I think that's a really important disclaimer to throw out there. We did not get business degrees. Yeah. We are not necessarily
Did you guys go to
school,
college?
People.
Yeah, went to PSU for mechanical engineering. I can't even say the words.
That's so different.
Yeah, so different. That's not my jam.
And
obviously,
I went to
clearly
school for biology.
Yeah. So different.
Very different.
I think we both realized, we're like, why are we doing things that we hate?
Did you guys feel like you guys went to school because like your parents were like, you guys gonna go to college? Or did you feel like hey, I want to go to college?
I went to college. I think it was more of like, hey, this is what everybody else is doing. I think this is what I should be doing. And then I like had this quarter life crisis and was like working at this engineering firm. And it kind of hit me because they were going to pay for the rest of my schooling in exchange for like 2 years for me staying with them after I got my degree.
Yeah.
And it hit me what that meant and the environment I was going to be in.
For
basically, I was setting my like path of life up to that. And I kind of had like an internal freak out and quit like 3 weeks after that.
So I don't know your parents very well, but I know your parents decently well.
Yeah.
They seem very like, do what you want. We'll help you kind of make decisions that are smart and think about it, but they seem like I'm supportive in that sense of like a creative idea. I might be wrong. That's just how they seem.
I did get some grief for dropping out of the engineering thing because like being a female in engineering and the opportunity that I had there, there was like I could have gone pretty far with that. But they ultimately, I think, pretty quickly understood. Like my dad started his own business and just like went off in his own direction. And so for what?
So that's what you get, Jack. Like, you raise her around this shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it's kind of like, and that whole line is a line of like entrepreneurs on like my dad's side of the family and my mom's actually. There's like a lot of entrepreneurs. And so I guess it really comes down to I'm very grateful for the support that I have by pursuing that lifestyle. Yeah. Because like Michelle, in contrast, had a little bit different.
Harder?
Yeah.
It's funny too because my dad owns his own business as well.
What does he do?
He renovates pinball machines.
Yeah, he's like really good at
it. He does
like fixes them.
He'll restore them. Yeah, that kind of thing.
That's people super interesting and niche.
Yeah. People pay him, he buys his own and will fix them up and sells them. But then sometimes people bring them their machines and want modifications done or just to be cleaned up or something like that. But anyway, he owns his own business. My mom is a registered nurse at Salem Hospital.
That makes sense why biology might be something that you were interested in then.
Yeah, so my sister's going into the medical field as well.
I didn't know you had a sibling.
Yeah, I have an 19-year-old sister, sorry. She's 19.
I'm so bad with it. Like, so dates, ages. How the fuck old are you now?
How old are we? Yeah, how old are you? You just had your birthday.
Just 27.
Okay, so that means I'm 27. 27. I'm going to be 27 in 2 weeks, a week.
Yeah.
You too, shortly after.
Yeah, about a month and a half.
It's like 20-something.
November,
yeah.
But like as soon as you hit like 21 or 25, it like doesn't matter anymore.
25 was like I was like, fuck.
Yeah, when you kind of hit 25, you're like, I'm not early 20s anymore.
Closer to 30 than you are to 20.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
But yeah, I definitely got more resistance. Even very recently, like my mom initially when I quit, my family was very much you were going to college, you were going to pick something, and you were going to do it. Yeah. And I just kind of got to the point where I was just like, you know what? It's like, this feels like high school. To be honest, I did not thrive in high school. PSU too? No, I just went to PCC because I actually was accepted to an Australian university. So I was going to do my prereqs at PCC and then transfer to Australia.
Cool.
But so the whole thing that kind of, I was already kind of like, not feeling like it wasn't me, and then my loans fell through to go to the Australian university in Townsville, and so that was just for me, that was a catalyst, and I'm like, well, that's not meant to be then. So then I just honestly after that point didn't go back, but for a long time my mom really fought me on it, and then finally she just kind of gave up and was like, you're just gonna do what you're gonna do. She understood that I'm kind of like the black sheep of my family.
Sure.
Like nobody in my family really travels. When I went to Africa, they all thought I was gonna die of Ebola.
Yeah.
So and then with my father, which is really interesting because he owns his own business, he was like hounding me hard, especially recently, that I need to get a 9-to-5 job and climb the corporate ladder until Wayward and Wild can support me, which it completely does, but for some reason unless I'm making $100,000 a year, it's not gonna amount to anything.
It's because of the insecurities that he of what
it's total projection.
What he hasn't been able to, what he wanted to do with his stuff, and what he hasn't been able to do is like, okay, if you do your own business, you won't be able to do these things either. Like anybody who starts their own business, I talk about this all the time with Twitch. If you choose to do Twitch and you're becoming internet famous, or you're becoming a way to make money from it, you are letting go of some of the things that the 9-to-5 job does have. Pay time off, medical benefits, all that stuff, 401k. Like in Oregon, we actually have I think it's called Cover Oregon and we have a bunch of different stuff like for 401k. Like if you don't offer a 401k, then you have to send that Oregon provides its own like 401k for employees in terms of if you have employees over like 10 people or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shit that Oregon does provide, but a lot of times that's what parents see. They go, okay, you're starting your own thing. You won't get health benefits. Yeah. You're not going to get a 401k. You don't have a retirement plan. Like you don't have these things. So, I started my own thing and I don't have them. I need to make sure that my kid does. And usually that's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
They just want to make sure that you're good, but they don't realize that like, or maybe they do, but they don't. I think our generation has really focused in on like the mental, like what am I actually happy doing, or what can like you don't need to make $100,000 to pay your bills and enjoy life.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you made it might make it a little easier.
That would. I'm not going to say that wouldn't be fantastic.
Yeah. Like I talk about this like I have $1,000 that I have to pay a month basically. If I could cover those bills with the thing that I really like to do and have very like no money left over, it would be pretty cool. Yeah. Because I get to do what I want to do. Yeah. If I can make the thing that I want to do, make me more money, that's great.
Exactly.
Well, and I think we both know and understand we didn't pick the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't pick the societal norm. Like, I mean, more and more female business owners are popping up, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But I mean, in traditional society, it's like, no, we didn't pick the path of least resistance. And we understand that. Like, it's going to be hard. And but that's okay because it's rewarding.
And I think it really comes down to also, it's like, not to mention being in the fashion industry is like one of the hardest industries to even be in.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But when it comes to it, like the importance of doing something you like and like that you're passionate about is because like if you're doing it for money, at a certain point you'll quit because it'll get too hard. And you're like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Or you're not
Screw that. I'm not making enough. I'm going in a different direction. And then, but if you're doing it because you're passionate about it, you will work through those hard times where other people will die off and fade off, and now that will end up setting you apart, and you will keep pursuing that. And I think that's a huge thing that keeps us going even when it gets hard, is because like we get to like wake up, we get to wear whatever the heck we want. We get to kind of ultimately wake up when we want. We get to go play outside. Like we just took a 2.5, well, me it was like 10 days, you it was like 2.5 week vacation to go road trip and do things. Like, you don't get we get to travel, we get to hike, we get to, hey, it's a nice day outside, let's do some work for a little bit, and then let's go hike somewhere. You know what I mean?
What is, like, work? Like, when you guys sit down, like, do you guys have an office? You don't have, like, a brick and mortar store.
No. Yeah, so we don't want one, because that'll be too.
We don't want anything that's going to tie us to a single location. We both love traveling. That's what brings us a lot of joy in life. Just being outside. So we both agreed that we never want something that's going to tie us to a location. Yeah. As of right now, we are tied to a location, but we know of ways to not be. So we're just working towards those goals.
What location are you guys tied to?
Yeah. So everything
here
is... Yeah, just
Oregon.
Like Portland, Oregon.
Right,
it's
right
all
now.
We do everything out of like my parents' house.
Okay.
Like just to keep overhead low.
If you just have a
like
lot of shit.
all of that. Yeah. So my old bedroom is actually Wayward and Wildlandia.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is all of our storage, and then we end up just like whenever we have a big order for since we're in the Made in Oregon stores, whenever they order from us, just the whole house turns into a distribution center. Right. And so a day for us will be anywhere from answering emails, designing things, tagging shirts, folding shirts,
putting orders together,
shipping things out, getting stuff ready for a show, posting things on Instagram, getting annoyed with being inside for so long and going on a hike. You know, like, be like, all right.
Well, and I think that's kind of nice, too, is, like, part of our work is, like, we have to take photos of our stuff, so that's kind of, like, our other excuse for getting outside. Yeah. Like, oh, let's go on a hike where Wayward and Wild stuff and take photos for Wayward and Wild. Like, so that's kind of an upside of it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Two birds, one stone.
Let's continue to walk through the history, though. So when you guys started, you guys signed up for this bazaar, and then... You guys have nothing, right?
No,
like nothing.
So how many articles of clothing did you guys have to bring? Did it sell well the first time? Like what was because I went to the Hillsborough Night Market with you guys or to see you guys.
Yeah.
And I had never been. And so it was my first time there and it's like, oh shit, like there's a lot of stuff. Every time I would like try to talk to Michelle, like just like loads of people.
Swamped.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like
good problem.
Nice
I felt bad because I wanted to talk, but there was just so many people.
Yeah. And I knew that was possible, but I'd never been, so I didn't know that it was like such a big deal that they like closed off certain. I thought it would be in like a field or like something. I didn't know that it was like on the streets and stuff. So when you guys go, how much did you guys have to bring?
We had, I think,
the first one, we had 10 designs. We had a little tiny 10 by 10 booth. I remember there's a photo of the very first one. It was like...
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, we decided we wanted to make sweatpants because we got like stoked on that. Hey, this means we can wear whatever we want. We don't have to dress up. We're like, I'm going to wear sweatpants. And they're like, and slippers.
Yeah.
Can you guys please make slippers?
Oh, I would love to make slippers.
That'd be
great. That would be amazing.
These are like all I wear.
Not
at work.
I don't know how to even get into shoe design, but if we find anything like that, I am 10 out of 10 hands down for slippers.
But we walked into it. Yeah, we had 10 designs, and we were like, we may not sell anything. Yes. We may completely sell out. We hadn't even test marketed anything, so we had nothing to go off.
So of the 10 designs you had, were they shirts, hoodies?
A mixture.
A mixture of like tees and long sleeves and hoodies, and I think that's all that we started.
Zip up.
And zip up, zip up.
Just kind of like what people would expect.
Just standard,
And for the design, you do a lot of the design, Michelle?
I do a lot of the when you see like the, I guess, hand-drawn looking designs, like more scenic looking designs. I do a lot of those. Kolbi has done a couple of them. And then Kolbi does more of like the text-based designs. But reason why this is like such a good partnership.
Yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, Kolbi
like the one that Michelle's wearing.
But you just use like Illustrator?
The on the back of the one the Chasing Sunsets ones, that's Mish. Yeah. So, and I always refer to Michelle as Mish.
Don't you call Google something different too?
Googus?
I saw it. Yeah, Googus.
Oh yeah, John. Yeah, we call it Googus. Because we were joking around. We call Apple Maps Apis Mappus.
I was in John's studio and I was like, what the fuck is Googus, dude? I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, that's Google. Michelle calls it Google. And I was like, all right.
Googus.
We'll just go there. So did you guys sell well? Sell out?
We didn't sell out, but we did way better than
we even thought we were gonna do.
Yeah,
because we just like went in there, and we had a couple people just on our first run with this very first market. They're like, "Oh, are you guys in any stores? You guys have a storefront?" And we're like super flattered. We're like, "Oh, this is good feedback for us. People wonder if we're in stores." It's like, "Oh, we're cool, maybe."
That's awesome. That's a really good feeling to have.
There's something nerve-wracking about just putting your creative heart out in the world and hoping that it's like well received.
Yeah, because one person could have walked in and been like, "Ugh," and you would have been like, "Ah, fuck."
Like, crap, I failed.
I mean, and we get people like that they don't like it, but we get opinionated people that come in, and because we're female and business owners, and they're talking directly to the business owners, people do insert their opinions, which is fine.
That's so interesting. I don't know if I've ever done that. But
most people don't.
Most don't.
Unless I knew, like, since I know you guys, like if I was looking at something, been like, oh, like I would love to have this design on like a shirt, that color or something like that. Yeah. Like I could see that, but I would never be like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
It's also like when we go and have our like booths or do the kind of shows, people think that we're like,
you're like hired help.
We're like the hired promo girls for it.
Yeah.
And then we're like, no, like this is literally us. Like we pulled these shirts out of the dryer. We designed the thing on it. Like we're the ones folding these. We're
I've
the
actually
one who's, like,
been called the help before.
You need like a name tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny.
I don't know. I feel like it's just because other companies have like screwed you. Like I don't know if you guys ever looked at like G Fuel, which is like an energy like powder for like game. Like basically they market to like gamers. Like if you go to like one of their booths, it's literally like girls in like short dresses, and like that's how they sell that shit.
Yeah,
sex sells.
So it's just one of those things where it's like that they like those companies who've done that have kind of like fucked you.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it depends really on like how you look at it, because it's like I want to be known for being creative and being outdoorsy and helping other people connect with that too.
Sure.
So it's like,
but at the same time,
You're like,
we've even noticed, you know, when we worked at the zipline park, the days where I actually take time, like, you wouldn't think working at a zipline park you need to get up and put makeup on. But the fact is, if we got up and put makeup on, we did way better in tips.
Yeah. It's like, I make my eyelashes all pretty and I like, do whatever.
I guess that does
and you're like, it's annoying.
Do you think that that's a perception on like girls, or just that's what people expect, like in terms of like looking put together? Like you care about your job because you got somewhat put together, where before it's like it looks like you just rolled out of bed and didn't give a shit.
I think what's wrong is the perception of what put together is for a female. Yeah. Because you can be very put together and not have any makeup on, and versus like, look at dudes that do that all the time and they're like not getting any grief, but it's like you show up to an office that you're working at as the receptionist and you don't have makeup on and your hair is wet because you just got out of the shower. It's like you're gonna get some looks, and it's like, why is that? Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's probably a combination of so many different things.
Yeah, I think that's just that's just what our society has become, and that's before I quit school, I actually tried going back at one point I wanted to get into archaeology. And I ended up taking this class, and I firmly believe that everybody should take a intro to cultural anthropology class now. It was really eye-opening. Society just sets certain standards for people, for genders in general. Like if you're deemed, the gender roles, if you're deemed as a female and you go out in public, you should be wearing makeup, your hair should be done. And if you're not doing any of those things, well then you probably don't make very much money.
Sure.
Is the assumption. So I think that's one of the things that we kind of want to break, is the societal norm of what people expect of females, or not female, but women.
Or anybody that identifies.
Yeah, anybody that identifies
whatever
as a
you
woman.
want to be. It's like, and then same thing. It's like there's a lot of things, like you see the girls on Instagram or whatever where their hair is perfectly curled and they're up on the mountain and they're doing that, and people are making these comments about, oh yeah, she just totally like got up there and curled her hair, like nobody looks like that when they hike. Hey, guess what, that chick, that's not photoshopped. She hiked up there, she's got fake nails, she's got her eyelashes on. Who cares?
Again, I think
let
it's
her
because
do whatever the heck
people
she
like
wants.
ruining shit, right? It's like you look at a lot of Instagram stuff, specifically Instagram, and almost all the photos are like doctored. So many of them are, and not necessarily that field, like in the adventuring style thing, but in like beauty or whatever. Like that's just not what they look like. Yeah, I've seen so many things where like I've looked at a picture and been like, oh wow, look at that, and then I like see a video, I'm like, you don't. That's not even like, you look like a totally different person. Like I don't understand that. I don't know. Literally what I'm wearing right now is what I would wear to work. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's different is I wouldn't wear my slippers. I'd put Nikes on. Yeah.
And I think a really important
thing... Because I have to.
Yeah, because you have to.
Not because I want to.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Literally, John was like, do you own jeans? Like, I can't take pictures of you if you just wear sweatpants all the time. And I was like, I mean, I might, but I don't know where they're at.
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. I think a really important thing, too, with the whole Instagram girl thing and the makeup, it's like... Women should be able to not wear makeup when they want to, and nobody should think anything of it. At the same time, being a creative person, my form of being creative is painting or drawing. Another person's could be beauty. Like it's a form. It's so cool. It's a form of painting your face, and women should not be shamed for that either. Yeah. Like if you enjoy wearing the makeup and you enjoy the artistic aspect of wearing makeup, freaking go for it. If that's what makes you confident, go for it. Yeah. So I think there's, on both sides, we need, for females, need to be careful of not shaming either way.
Yeah. Like having grace.
Yeah, I think what happens is people just, like, for whatever reason, feel the need to share what they like or don't like. Yeah. Like, because there are definitely, like, girls and guys out there who don't give a shit if you have a bunch of makeup on. They're like, yeah, you're super pretty, or I like what you did, or blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And there's other people who just feel the need to tell you, like, you're wearing too much shit, or you're not wearing enough, or whatever that might be. It's an interesting thing. I don't know, like, I think as, like, I'm so oblivious as a person a lot of the times to certain things. Like, people might, like, talk shit, or they might say, I don't even notice.
Right? I know. I think we're kind of like that, too. Like, I just don't care. Everybody's got an opinion.
I tell that to my girlfriend all the time. Like, you just can't please everybody. You do one thing, and it might make that person mad, but it might make the other person really happy. So how do you choose, like, what you do? And like, all that matters is the person that you connect yourself with whether that's somebody else or yourself. As long as you're good.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
If it's authentic to you, that's really what it gets down to.
We relate that back to Wayward and Wild, whereas like, like going along with those comments of people coming in and inserting their opinion. And we just kind of like, well, if we get enough requests for that, like there's a large group of people that say they want this particular design on this garment, then we're probably going to do it. But ultimately it's like, we can't please everybody's tastes. So we do what's authentic to us and what we like, and
if you like it, you buy. If you don't, that's okay.
Exactly. And like our demographic is like us, like outdoorsy, active, like
how much of like, okay, so what would be something that like someone would come in and someone would say something like, oh, thank you for saying that, and then what's an example of someone saying something where you're like, that's fucking ridiculous? Can you like think of anything that someone said?
We get, I mean, as far as like the ones where like we're always open to people's opinions. I think it's the way that people say it or the way that it comes across, because of course we want to hear what people want.
Like, oh, you have a good idea. That's probably a good idea. Like you have an idea, and even if it's a shit idea, thank you for sharing your shit idea with us. Like we appreciate that.
Because a shit idea could be polished.
Exactly.
So it's like we're always open to people's suggestions. I just think it's the way people say it sometimes is kind of like, okay, Deborah.
Yeah.
I would really buy that if you had it on this in this color and this fit. You're literally the only person, Deborah, that would ever wear that and wants that. And that doesn't even fit our style and aesthetic. So it's fine that you don't buy that shirt, because we're not trying to cater to your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You're not our marketing demographic. You're not who we are anyway. So you're like, okay. But you're like, thank you.Maybe we'll consider that if that's a direction we decide to move with Wayward and Wild.
Yeah, and then if like 50 people flooded in and we're like, we want that shit, you'd be like, all right, we're gonna make that shit.
Exactly. And which we have done that, because we've gotten so many requests for certain things, like our new Get the Fuck Outside shirt. We've gotten so many requests for that to be on something other than a t-shirt. So guess what? We're probably gonna put it on a sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's probably gonna go on a sweatshirt. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
And it's kind of us, is like, we always just want to keep Wayward and Wild, like Wayward and Wild.
Yeah, your thing.
Like kind of edgy, but still.
Well, there's always
mainstream.
Something that you told me a long time ago that you read in one of those she read in one of those business books that was, people who are entrepreneurs, it's if you don't personally like it or you wouldn't personally wear it, you're not gonna do as well, you're not gonna sell it as well as if you would personally like it or if you would personally wear it. So we always make sure, would this be something that we would wear?
Would I wear this? Do I like this?
Do we really like this? And that just, when you actually like what you're selling or what you're doing, it just translates a lot better to other people.
Yeah. It's like you're invested in on a whole nother level, and it's not fake. It's like really, like, just really comes down to, because I think in the power of authenticity and people knowing like what's true and what's not true. So like when you're talking to somebody, they can read you
pretty well, I think, especially when you're like bullshitting someone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people can be like, they're not into that shit.
Yeah. It's like they're really not. They're just
I did
here.
Some sales stuff. Like I did freight brokering, which was basically like you're the middleman between the people who have the goods and the people with trucks, trying to, like people, how does Target get their shit?
Yeah.
Right.
Unless, I mean, Target's huge, so they probably own their own. Mm-hmm. But like, there's a bunch of companies out there. For instance, like Taco Bell and Chipotle, like they don't own their own trucks, but they still need tomatoes.
It's true.
Yeah.
So how do they get tomatoes?
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things. And I worked for a guy, because how it works is you learn like the basic part and you work on somebody else's account and you help them with their shit, and then you learn and you move up or whatever. So I helped one guy who did bleachers that could be disassembled. And the guy like sent his shit all over the United States. So like to the NFL Hall of Fame, to like Florida for volleyball competition. Like he sent his shit all the time, but that takes like a flatbed truck. And so like I learned this really different
super niche,
like weird thing, but like I didn't, so when it came down to like trying to sell it, like I just didn't give a fuck. It's like, I don't care if you get your shit, like this isn't my
not
shit.
Not passionate about bleacher seats you can disassemble. Sorry.
Like I just didn't care. And then I also worked for a company doing sales stuff for it was like inspirational / like motivational training videos that were like 3 minutes long. They were like programs done by like authors or like inspirational speakers. Like on, it could have been on motivation or like finding inspiration in the world, or procrastination, shit like that. I was like, ugh. I was just like, if I came into like my job and my job was like, hey, you need to watch this video, which is 3 minutes long, and you're going to watch it for 30 days, and we're going to do this program. I'd be like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's like silly stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the thing where it's like you have like sands, small rocks, medium-sized rocks, and big rocks. Well, if you put the sand in first, you won't be able to fit the big rocks in.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to do the big stuff first. And it's all like supposed to be symbology of like the big stuff is like all the shit that you have to get done. Yeah. Like it needs to get done. So you got to put that shit in your bottle first.
Yeah.
The sand stuff is stuff that you don't really need to do, so you can sprinkle that in because sand can go in the cracks.
Right.
It's like, I don't care. Like, I just don't like it's, and that's like one of them. And I'm just like, who needs, like, who really, if you want that shit, it's on YouTube. Like, you can just look up some stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, if you want it and you're looking for it, you can find it very easily.
Yeah.
But if you rolled into a bank and you're a teller and they're like, listen to this, you'd be like, no, I'm a teller. Like, is there some financial shit I can read? That's what I'm interested in. Yeah. You know?
Disconnect.
That's something that I've found as I've gotten older. It's like I'm really into like finance, like personal finance. Yeah. I don't know why. But how is the finance for you, like in terms of like being like, oh, you know, like I'm sure this costs to get 50 of these or 100 or I don't know how much you guys have to order or whatever. But like keeping that separate from personal or like that seems like a huge mess in its own to like solve.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Disclaimer: we don't know what we're doing.
Like we're doing it obviously because we have to, not because we like it. Like as far as like our strong suits are definitely like we're in a position where we need to hire a financial
probably stuff
advisor.
That you seem would be like more fun.
Like we are getting into that. Yeah, like aspect. And it's like you're passionate about that. Like we have friends that are passionate about accounting. Like I low-key hate spreadsheets. Yeah, I don't want to stare at that. I don't like administrative work. I don't like moving like paperwork around. Like Michelle's really good at organizing, like thank God. And she likes doing that because I'm just like looking at that and I'm just like, you know what's better is mess. You know, like personally it's like I know where everything is in this mess.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I'm kind of like in between that. Like I have like some of my stuff like needs to kind of be messy. Yeah. Like I know where it is. Like don't fucking touch it. Yeah. And then there's other things where it's like I can't find a goddamn thing. Like where did I put this? And I mean I do like spreadsheets and like trying to figure things out. Like since April, like I've paid off like $12,000 of debt.
Oh hell yeah! Good job.
That's awesome.
With like my girlfriend and I kind of teamed up not too long ago, but that was just because we saw that there was a problem and it needed to be fixed, and there's only really like one real way to fix it. So I read like Dave Ramsey's book and other like financial shit. It's really interesting, but if you hate it, I would imagine that like that's not the fun part of owning a business for most people, I would assume.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But it's like it's necessary and we're grateful that it's like it's a good problem because it makes us learn. You know, things that we need to know clearly. And like we've had, because like on Zip tours, I used to ask whenever we get like a business owner, because we talk to people about what they do. I'd be like, okay, what is your one piece of advice you give to like me? Because I have a side hustle that I'm working on. It's like a clothing line. This is back when we were working there. And like 8 out of 10 of them would give me something along the lines of understand your personal finances, because if not, you're going to get screwed. Yeah, and it was just that was always a consistent theme. They're like, if you don't understand your basic accounting and basically where your money is going and how it balances out and just the basic math of it, just the basics, then it is going to screw you. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's still the best advice because it's true. If we're not on top of our shit and like balancing finances, then it gets messy.
Clothing or
you know,
because we don't know what's going out.
We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's coming in. We don't know how much we can actually take so we can eat. You know, like that kind of thing. Like you have to know.
Well, and the pressure is even on more this year because we both quit our other jobs and are doing
so
this
that was
full
this
time.
year.
That was this year.
Okay, so that was my question because you said side hustle earlier.
Yeah.
So at what point this year did you guys quit?
We decided in December we're like we're not getting other jobs because we both this last December worked 2 jobs. So we did Wayward and Wild for the holiday season, and then worked like part-time retail, just like because we weren't sure.
We did that all year. Last
we
year.
did that. Oh, we did that all year last year.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my gosh, that was all year last year.
7 days. We worked 7 days.
7 days a week, and it was like
we were dying.
like 12-hour days, 7 days a week for like
12 to 14-hour days.
Yeah, for like come in on like December and November, we were like so stressed out and so just like over it because we were working so hard and so often and like not having like mental health day at all ever.
Yeah.
That we swore to ourselves, we're like, okay, we're not doing that again. And so we made, because, you know, usually when your option is to make it happen or to fail, you find a way to make it happen.
It's crazy what you'll do when you have a goal and you really want to meet that goal.
And that was exactly it. We're like, we're not getting other jobs.
No other choice. You usually
you make it happen. And so that was it. That was the same thing with us. We worked well under pressure. We've come to find out.
Yeah.
Like, we work better when there's pressure.
Yeah.
You know? Because if it's not, then we're kind of like, oh, let's go outside.
We procrastinate.
Yeah, we procrastinate.
I mean, this goes back to what I said earlier. Like, when you have to wake up and you got nothing to do, you're like, I'm going to lay in bed. But when you know you have shit to do, you got to get up and you do, and you're almost more excited about it. So when you guys were working like the 12, 14-hour days, how has that changed since you left the job? Have you guys continued to work like longer hours, or has it been like...
No, it's not way more managed.
Not consecutive, right? Because you have that freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like in terms of a 24-hour day, you sleep probably 8 of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you got 16.
Yeah. So we work probably like Monday through Friday, anywhere between like 4 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
And our days when we have actual markets, those are now our long
days.
Those
are the long days.
Which, you know, when you do them, like during the summer, we do them at least once a week, sometimes twice, which is kind of like the cap for us. Our twice a week ones are kind of rough because it's usually like a 12-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are our long days now. But other than that, it's really just roll out of bed and my sweats, head over to Kolby's parents' house and start responding to emails
and tagging shirts and putting stuff in boxes and shipping it out. No, we don't live together.
Are you at your parents'?
No, I live in like Bald Peak State Park area. I live on like 5 acres out. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's awesome actually. There's a waterfall in the backyard. Pretty epic. Great. It's a good. My like roommates are rad.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And you are?
I live out in more toward Portland.
Yeah. Oh man, Portland.
Yeah, and and then pretty soon, I mean, we ultimately have, like, when we were talking about us not wanting to be tied to a location, it's like she wants to go to Hawaii. I'm working on getting my Swedish residency right now, so, you know, that's one of the big reasons.
Yeah, right? So you're like, the goal with that is that, because we're not going to abandon Wayward and Wild. Like, that's going to stay. Like, we want it to be it's going to just grow to accommodate us.
Sure.
Essentially. Mm-hmm. And that's going to go, like, I'm working on, in Hawaii, I'm meeting up with a screen printer over there to talk. Okay. I have contacts for some markets in Hawaii and, like, that kind of thing, and, like, stores to be in and that kind of thing, to, like, have a Maui and or Kauai. That's, like, Maui's kind of my second home. I, like, grew up there. I have family over there. I'm going back there in, like, twice. Next week.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Michelle's boyfriend is in Sweden, and
is he Swedish?
Yes.
Makes more sense.
Is he Swedish? Yes.
It's like guy's German.
He was just here. He just left Thursday. But we want to still be able. It's like the world is super connected. It's like people don't realize how connected it is. Like we travel, we go places. The internet is amazing. Like people think you can't do.
Well, I mean, you can have a functioning store just on the internet, as long as you know how to get people there.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to be tied down anywhere. And I think that's what, you know, it's like so many people come up to us and say, oh my gosh, your lives are just so amazing. You get to go to all these places, and like, how do you do it? And it's like, well, that's what we want to do. We make it a priority, and we do what's necessary to get to those places. And I just want people to know it's possible. You can do it.
You can do it.
You just have to be willing to step outside that little comfort bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put some online.
Because
I think a lot of times is outside influences really influence what you're willing to take on.
Yeah.
What your parents, your friends, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like you have to get to a point where you just don't give a shit.
That's pretty much it. That's
kind of where you don't really have an option in terms of like what you think, like, what could happen.
Yeah.
So you guys did that, the store though. After that, what was the next step? You guys did the Christmas Bazaar. It's like, okay, we sold stuff.
Yeah.
Shit's happening. At that time, did you guys take card or was it only cash?
We took card, actually. Yeah. We like figured out the PayPal thing.
Yeah. Well, just because that's 3 years ago.
No,
that's before
true.
Cash App. That's before Venmo. That's before the iPay stuff.
That was before all
that.
that.
Was all of it.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize it.
Or at least when that stuff was
right
really
when it
young.
just started, I think.
Yeah, where like most companies didn't have it.
Swipey thingy
Yeah, the
has been
PayPal
around
swipey
for
thing's
a
been
while.
around.
Yeah, so the Intuit, like in your phone, you swipe the card, but like you don't need that shit now.
We still use it.
We
but
still.
But you don't need it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like we'll accept like Venmo and.
So I guess Cash App was around in 2013, but it wasn't big.
It wasn't.
People weren't using
that's
that
true.
though.
No, we weren't using that.
I mean, even Apple Pay, people like barely use. Like Apple is now putting out a card, like an Apple credit card,
I saw
but
that.
you have to use Apple Pay. So it's not like a physical card, but it's also like Apple. Like you guys make computers and phones. You're not a bank,
right? Now. But I mean, money is just a perception, you know. It really is just an idea.
I
that
guess,
everybody...
but I'm just like, ugh. I don't know if I trust Apple with my shit.
Yeah.
I mean, to an extent, I kind of would. I mean, you know, what is it? The government went to them asking to release customer information, and they refused to.
That's fair.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. That's fair. Most companies probably be like, here you go.
Yeah, right?
How much money are you going to pay me?
Yeah. How much money are you going to give us?
Yeah. So from what was the next store or next thing you guys did? You had
next market that we went
market,
to?
whatever it was. Because you guys had 10 articles of clothing. So like, what was was there so much hype around it? Like, oh fuck, like we did some cool shit. Like we only
we were
things.
stoked.
Oh yeah, we were excited.
We were so excited. We're like, oh, we got something here. This is fun too.
What was our step after
What was our
that?
step after? What did we do? Did we start getting was it the Vancouver night market?
No, because we didn't.
When did we do that?
I don't know.
We did Vans Warp Tour.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
That
we
was
actually
fun.
did really well at that.
We did so well at that.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I think we started looking for other markets.
Is that still around?
No.
We went to their last year.
We did their
last one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we just started looking for other markets and opportunities.
What do we? Yeah. What
was
next? That was like it seems like an eternity ago. I feel like we've grown
because we didn't do the Tuesday night market until the second year.
That was last year that we started the Tuesday
so
night
2018.
market. 2018. So this was
which I think Vancouver night market we started around the same time too.
What did we do?
I don't remember.
So where are you guys at though? I know that you said you were in the what shop?
We're in the Maiden, Oregon stores.
Maiden, Oregon.
So you can find us in the PDX airport too, actually.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, which is awesome. We'll get
really cool.
I guess the coolest part is more frequently will be like, what was it? Our friend Will the other day sent us, he was out on a trail in like Mount Hood and like sent us a photo of somebody wearing one of our shirts.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Like out doing that. Or we'll like get.
I was in REI and saw someone wearing one of our shirts at the Portland REI store and I was just like, hey.
Yeah, you'll like start seeing things of people like in our stuff. Or like, what were you in Jamba Juice or something?
Oh yeah, I was in Jamba Juice and saw someone wearing our tree sleeve sweatshirt, didn't know her, she didn't know me, and I just went up to her, I was like, I really like your sweatshirt, and she's like, thanks, and then walked out, had no idea. Yeah. And it was like, great.
It's so gratifying to like see somebody liking, and there's like a weird kind of like high you get from somebody like exchanging money for something you made.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it's so, and then seeing them wearing it and seeing them like it. Because what you like put on your body to like represent you is so interesting to me. Like how people represent themselves and like creatively express themselves, like being a creative person myself. Like I've done my hair red and purple and like, you know, wear obscene amounts of makeup just because I wanted to, You've
never worn your hair like all purple.
Yeah, I had a dark, like, brown purple once. We actually ended up at the same hair color.
Totally different ways.
We like...
The whole thing was purple?
It was like a dark... We'll have to find a... we went to Vegas for Michelle's 21st birthday.
How was that?
And it was like a dark... We both had the same color hair. Yeah. And we're like, how did we even get here? We like showed up to get on the plane and we had the same color hair. We're like, how did we do this? This is hilarious.
You guys didn't know?
No, we didn't know. We didn't plan it at all.
Because I dyed my hair brown and then wanted it more auburny, so I added something to my hair to make it more auburny. Did you guys both do it yourselves?
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
And then she was like, had bright red hair, was trying to get red back to brown, and ended up with the purple.
I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have purple hair now.
The like bright color hair is like super big on like Twitch.
Yeah.
Everyone changed like guys too. Like I don't know if you guys know who Ninja is.
What's that sound from there? Sounds like
he's a huge streamer. He just got sponsored by Adidas.
Oh wow.
Big, but like this is a girl who has like
fuck
me. This way. Like fuck fucking purple.
Oh yeah.
It's
I like that.
most of the time it's with girls. I think it's because I don't know. I've dyed my hair purple before for Twitch too, but like very like it's done for charity and then it's cut off because I don't want purple hair. But like,
I like having.
But like purple,
I know,
green.
I like it. I think it's fun.
Well, like I've seen people who do like Kirsten does like strips of different colors. Like a lot of times it would be like she'd have like blonde hair and then like underneath there would be like a couple like pinks like highlights or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's very rare where I see somebody with just a whole head. Most of the time it's like short hair too when it's like really different color. Yeah. Because I feel like it would be really hard to get your whole like your whole head the same shade of that color.
Yeah, my hair takes like 4 tubes of dye to do that. I had my hair lavender. I had my whole head pink. It's a lot.
You ever like wake up and you like look and it's like
really
sweat
cool
a little
color.
bit and it's just on your pillow?
Yeah, that's the thing.
My pillows are different.
Everything
color.
turned red when I had red hair.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you just had that grow out.
No, I dyed it.
Oh,
I dyed it over mine. I never really had that grow out phase.
You're like, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Got to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get like weird about that. I'm like, no.
So, what? So you guys quit jobs in January. Mm-hmm. So, in terms of you guys are doing Wayward and Wild full time, and it seems like it's going well.
It is going.
It is going well.
Way better
than we even thought it would go.
Yeah.
And it's like this is the year that it's really taken off, and we're stoked. Like we just had another meeting with Made in Oregon on just this last Friday.
Right.
And they were pretty stoked. They're going to buy more designs from us. And we have a couple other stores lined up that...
So how does that, like, what... Can you guys talk about, like, contract with them? I don't know how much stuff is, like...
Probably to some extent, yeah.
So when you talk to them, like, did they reach out to you? You reach out to them?
Both happened, actually.
Who did first? You guys, like, send the email at the same time?
I think...
Oh, shit.
It was actually really similar like that. We got on, we're like, hey, we want to be in stores. And we're like, what should we be in? And they're like, oh, Made in Oregon stores. Yeah, we're Made in Oregon. Let's be in Made in Oregon stores.
Makes sense.
So we just got on their website, went to their contact thing, and like submitted some form like, hey, we're interested. How do we get in contact with a buyer? Or like, how do we be in your stores? Yeah.
I sent an email to them just asking for buyer information.
And then, what is it? One of their actual buyers... Didn't they saw our booth?
Yeah, saw our booth
contacted
at one of the markets.
us independently of that email.
Mm-hmm.
And
you guys have cards?
Yeah, we have cards.
Cool. What? So from there, you said that they wanted to buy more designs.
Yes.
So like when they first talked to you, like we want 8 or 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they chose the ones, I assume. Like we want these 5 in our store or X number.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So how does the supply work for that? They hit you up and go, hey, we're about to run out of XYZ. Send us 50.
Essentially, they send us POs and then we just fill the, have like a ship date, a cancel date, like if we're not able to make it.
Has there been a time where you're like, sorry?
Sometimes there's been a couple times where it's been like they gave us like, we can get things out in about 2 weeks decently easily. But then the times kind of got shorter and shorter temporarily because they just needed stuff because they were selling out, and a couple of times we couldn't quite make the deadline, but we, they were super understanding.
What sets your deadline? Is it like manpower of you guys are the ones putting the tags?
We're the ones that are doing it. We are doing all of it. Every single one of those shirts that anybody wearing a Wayward and Wild shirt, we have touched. Every single one of them. Yeah.
So that's kind of what slows down that process.
Yes.
Or prolongs.
Like that's one of our like growing pains is like when we find ourselves spending more time like tagging shirts instead of like responding to emails or marketing or that kind of thing, which is when we like kind of realize at what point is that going to be a tipping point where we're going to need to like hire somebody to do that for us. I guess we'll see when we get there.
So when they do send you like a purchase order.
Yeah.
And they get, is that just like they pay you?
So how the process works, essentially, is so they'll send you a purchase order. So like, for example, it'll have like 2 styles. It'll be like, okay, we want your Treescape hoodie and your Pacific Northwest Sunburst t-shirt. And it'll be like, hey, we want a size run, like extra small through 2X, like 10 or 12 of each size.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, okay, and then the other one we want like...
I'm sure like mediums and smalls and and larges probably are the most.
Yeah, I think mediums and larges I think are the like most popular sizes. And then they'll be like, yeah, we want this, and it'll have whether we are shipping it to their warehouse, to like the Pioneer location, to the airport, to like wherever it needs to go, depending on demand. And it'll usually have some sort of note. So how that works is that basically, okay, we go off that and print those shirts according to the demand that they have and the dates that they need them. And then they pay us within 30 days.
Okay.
For that. So like with that, which is one of our things, is that we're like extending our, like, as a small business, it's like we have to be
we have to pay outright for everything.
Yeah. So like you have to have that line of credit. And a lot of the thing that like makes or breaks small businesses is basically that cash flow and that like credit line to be able to accommodate that.
Yeah, you see that all the time on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we have like Target wants to buy 500,000.
Yeah.
But we don't have the money.
They don't have the
to
credit
buy
line. They don't have that. Yeah, exactly. And so like
units of this.
that's why actually we like Made in Oregon, because all they do is work with small local Oregon-based people, so they can accommodate that and go with us in that regard. And plus, but we get a lot of business from them.
Yeah, we get
a lot of business from them.
Yeah, basically all summer we were just trying to keep up with the demand.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
which
we're like,
is a
this
great
is fantastic.
problem, right? Great problem, but we also know that having all of our eggs in one basket is not smart.
It's not good, and not fully always the direction we want to. Like, obviously, we want to be in stores, and that's going to be a thing that we want to do.
And that helps with the ability to move.
Yes, exactly.
To some extent. Exactly. Because you still got to ship it there.
Oh, yeah, but that's like, there's so many like fulfillment services and printing, like screen printers and other things. Like we can literally, if we set this up right, we can do it from anywhere in the world. Yeah. It's just a matter of us working out the kinks to set it up properly. Because our ultimate goal is like, we want to be able to travel and create stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's what we want to do. Like we're passionate about getting people outdoors, connecting people to the outdoors, getting ourselves outdoors.
Well,
being
and for
creative.
instance, when you hit different markets, right? So if you go to Hawaii, Trees, beer, what's that?
Yeah, Trees Coffee Beer, the one that Jesse has. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that might not hit
exactly.
Hawaii.
Yeah. Exactly.
They might want something else.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like kind of like designing based on and like just finding inspiration, because all of our designs are literally inspired from our outdoor
when you go out
stuff. So it's like, and our travels.
So then also I assume that Made in Oregon buys things at wholesale.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because they got to sell and make money.
Right.
Yeah, correct. Exactly.
And they need to sell really close to our price range that we sell at retail.
Yeah, so it's like, even if, because they won't do it. So like if we sell a sweatshirt for $60, they won't sell it for more than like $64.
Oh, okay.
Like because it needs to match up, kind of, because it's like a mutual business benefit kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like.
Well, yeah, and they'd be dumb if they sold it for like $75.
Exactly.
I guess because then it's like, well, I'll just buy it from their fucking website.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If people knew, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It's interesting.
So I guess the goals that we have now are to get in more stores. We want to do things more community involved too. Yeah. Like if we were to do like hikes, like guided hikes, or just meet
and greet, like kind of get everybody together in a spot and go for a hike. Yeah.
Do some kind of like sponsored thing. Like, hey, show up to this location. You're getting a free tea. You know what I mean?
I'll give you guys an idea.
Okay, give us
ideas.
To
create a cool, different style community. You guys will probably be the only people out there doing something like this. You guys are in a living room putting together shit, right? I'm sure you guys have hilarious conversations together. Like, there's at no point where you guys are just like, whatever. Like, I'm just going to sit here by myself and be quiet. I mean, I bet there are probably like a small amount of times, but I'm sure you guys are having fun.
Yeah.
John gave you a super great compliment. He said that you were one of the funniest people to work with and be with when you were at the studio.
That's sweet of him.
So I assume that trend, that's everywhere most of the time.
Oh yeah, we're weirdos.
Literally stream it.
We really should. Like if people we were making jokes about our lives as like reality TV, just because of like the weird things that have happened to us, the weird situations we've been in.
I'll tell you why though. People really lock into something that seems tangible but also far away. We don't know how to make clothes. We don't know how to do this, but I would love to know how, or I'd love to be a part of it. So I would create the community thing. It would spread it around so it wouldn't only be Oregon, obviously.
Yeah.
But I've had 2 different people come visit me that I met through streaming.
Yeah.
Come to Portland and come talk. So like, and plus, not only that, but we have lived in Oregon basically our whole lives, and we know what's here, and we know people they're fucking flooding here.
Yeah.
Like to live here.
This is one of the top like 10 most moved to places.
Yeah, like they're building like 500 or 5,000 homes over there. They're building stuff over on Bull Mountain. Like they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And so like people are coming, and it's a very cool thing. So if you guys want to do community-based things, you can build and especially if you're fucking Sweden and Hawaii and all this stuff, you're already kind of starting your own motion into being more than just Oregon. I think it would be a cool idea because if you guys could sit there and be mic'd up or have, mic similar to this and in an area that you're working in, and you could just do so much. Like it would be learning on how to do it, and I can help with that, but I think people would be really interested in it. Because there's like creative, because on Twitch there's like creative. So for you who paints, draws and all that stuff, you could literally stream yourself coming up with the designs, and people would eat that shit up.
Well, I've actually been told before by other people who do Twitch streaming. Our one of our old coworkers, his fiance now, she actually streams on Twitch for a living. And
what's her name?
Do you know Rochelle.
Do you know
Rachel? What's her last name? What's her stream name?
I don't remember what her stream name is.
But it doesn't take much, especially if you're on Twitch, because there's so many different options. Mixer's getting there. Mixer's a Microsoft-owned streaming service. Things are getting there, but I'm just saying that there's literally like a creative tab for Twitch, and you guys could be in that, painting, drawing, coming up with designs.
I think it just needs to
Illustrator stuff.
Yeah, I think it just needs to happen now, because this is like you're like the third person to tell me I need to start streaming.
Talked about the streaming.
The biggest thing is that because this is how I always viewed it when I started streaming, was like, oh, I'll play games off air, like I won't stream, but I'm like, but I'm streaming, or like I'm playing, like I'm already doing the thing, like all I have to do is turn on I just have to hit stream,
right?
And I'm already doing the majority of what streaming is, so I might as well start, like if I'm gonna play it. So it's like if you're gonna draw, like you could just play music, you don't even need to talk if you didn't want to. Like people, there's a YouTube channel that's literally just like chill music. It's like the chill music, homework music. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Yeah.
Look at it, and it's literally just like a girl sitting at a thing, like a cat's up here. It's like this animation. She's like scribbling on this thing, and she's just listening to music, and people are just chatting in there. Like it's like a community-based thing for whatever reason. People just connect with it. And so if you're just sitting there drawing, and if you wanted to create commentary of like, this is why I'm doing this, or this is what my vision is for this, let's see where it goes. Cool. And you just do that. I think people would eat it up.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really fun aspect to incorporate.
I think it would be cool.
And how many other clothing brands are doing anything
like that? That's true.
And so it would be a really interesting, even experiment. Even if you guys did it for 2 months and it's like, it's just too much work, or nothing's going on.
Well, if we can make it efficient and even just make it like mobile, because if we could do it where we can show like just the whole screen printing process, because we're lucky, like everything is screen printed in the garage. It's cool, literally all by us, with us,
your
with
dad
everything.
Has a place though, yeah?
He did. He actually did really smart with his like whole business model. So he started his own business in the garage, moved out into a warehouse, did the whole warehouse thing for like 15 years, 12 years, I don't know. Basically found all the clients that he wanted to work with and made him the most money, and then fired all the clients that he hated, moved back into the garage, works less, makes more money, way happier.
Yeah, he made my shirts.
Yeah.
For when I did MMA.
Yeah.
He made my stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember it was cool too, because like we came up with the design. I think I literally sent him a picture of what I wanted, like drawn out by somebody, like by like Junior. So like no one who could like Junior could draw kinda.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a computer, like a digital thing.
Right.
So I sent him a picture, and then he just made it.
Yeah.
For me. And
which is like, how our stuff happens.
And like that's
sweet.
like I do that. Like that's like part of my thing.
I'm
even prior to Wayward and Wild was like I'm a graphic designer, so like I'll make people logos, and I did that prior to Wayward and Wild.
Yeah, I've started doing it, and it's like not easy.
Yeah.
It's super weird. I have to learn all this stuff. It was pissing me off the other day. I was like trying to like change the color of one thing. And so my background with any of this stuff was like, I don't use Photoshop and I don't use Illustrator. I'm using Microsoft Paint because it's fucking easy.
Yes.
I love that.
And it's like 2019, people were like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I just make an image, and like, then there it is.
I mean, if it works.
And I don't know how to do anything else. So then when I'm like trying to learn it, I'm like trying to change one shape to be a color, like a certain color. And then I'm like, where the fuck is like the paint bucket fucking thing? And I can't find it. And then I figure it out. I'm like, okay, I change it here. But then it didn't vector out the image around it too.
Yeah.
So it just did a block over it. And I'm like, no! And I can't figure it out. I had to like take the other parts of it that were vectored and like move them and copy and paste them over, because even if I put them on top of, it didn't work. I don't know why. And I was like, I kept texting Ray. I'm like, Illustrator's super dumb.
My dad calls it ill frustrator.
Yeah,
he gets so annoyed with it. And I'm like, no, that's fair. I even get annoyed sometimes because you have to think outside the box on how to change a thing in the most efficient way. A lot of the time, it's not. It's getting more intuitive, but it's
I'm like,
intuitive.
And then I was like, why is there Photoshop and Illustrator? Why can't they just be the same thing?
I know my way around Photoshop, but I'm just learning Illustrator.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're teaching me some things.
Every time I'm like, I don't know how to do this. YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
To like slow it down. Yeah, that's why I like
still YouTube things. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Let's YouTube it.
YouTube is great.
I made this comment the other day. It was like, okay, if an alien came down, was like intelligent enough, but not like super smart, like not just crazy genius level, and came down and you were talking to him and he was like, don't you think you would blow someone's mind when you're like, oh, we have Google, like this is what Google is? And he's like, what? And you're like, yeah, and YouTube, if you want to learn anything. He's like, don't you think that you'd just be like, then why the fuck do you guys spend $100,000 to go to school?
Oh yeah, amen.
Exactly.
I was like talking about this the other day, and I was just like, that's exactly what like I would say if I didn't know any, like if I just came out of the woods and was like living by myself, and they're like, oh yeah, like you didn't know that you like to make a better whatever the fuck I had went out in the woods. If you just YouTube it, someone will teach you how to do it, and you're like, wait, what? And you didn't have to go to school for it? No, you just learn to teach you right there. You rewind it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free.
Yeah, more shit.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah. I always talk about that because working at Nike, I want 80% of Nike's workforce are contractors. They're not Nike employees. Yeah. And so I was like, I want to get on the Nike workforce because they just offer so much more. But like people who are interviewing like have like Harvard degrees. I'm like, I'm not competing with that. Like I don't. But like that's why I get so mad. It's like why. Like, if I can do my job really well and somebody with a degree in whatever does a worse job than me, but that person is almost always looked at as the better candidate because they got a degree, it's like, I don't understand that shit.
I think it's shifting.
I think it is slowly because I think more and more people are like,
recognizing they're like, why am I going to go into like thousands and thousands of dollars of debt for something
degree
to do art?
So that's something that Ray was talking about, was like there are certain things
specialty
that like you don't that you will like you can't go on YouTube, watch a bunch of YouTubes on how to be a doctor and then be a doctor.
Brain
it's like
surgeon.
Or an engineer or a lawyer or like those kinds of things. Like
so there definitely
it makes sense.
For sure. There are definitely some.
It shouldn't be as prioritized as it is for all professions.
Yeah, and there's some that are really good, like coding.
Yeah.
Coding's one that's really good. That's like, we don't give a shit. Can you make that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can do that. And like,
there's so for coding, there's so many other just like little like classes you can take online that teach you how to code and you don't need a degree at all.
Yeah. And you can I bought one that was like how to code in Java, but it was meant for like the way that they taught you was through Minecraft, but it was for like
that's so cool.
It was for like 10-year-olds.
Dude, that's amazing. I'm about it.
And so like I bought it not knowing necessarily the aid, but I knew it was like how to do it as beginners, and it was like this guy's like, hey boys and girls, and I was like, oh fuck. And still like I'm doing it and I'm like, wait, I have to go back. You're going too fast for me because I don't have to do any of this shit. It's really cool though.
Yo,
I'd like to thank Tumblr for
Tumblr MySpace.
being able to code for the first time, because you could go into like the customization and actually like edit the coding in your theme on Tumblr. That's where I kind of started like figuring it out and doing it myself.
I learned a little bit for like HTML5 doing some like really nice looking they were like D&D stuff. It was like how like rules and different things and like making it my custom shit, like how to code it in HTML to look good on a web page. But other than that, like I don't know anything.
Yeah, we're in the process of like rebuilding a whole new website.
Yeah, you should talk to Eno.
Does Eno do that? Maybe Eno to help.
Here, I'll see if I can pull one up for you guys.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you guys afterwards.
But what was I going to say? Oh, so in elementary school, they're teaching kids to code now. My mom is a technology teacher, and she's literally, they have to have classes on internet citizenship, on how to be a decent human on the internet.
Probably smart.
Yeah, right? And
one can think, you could just be a decent human.
Yeah, no, they literally have to be taught. Like, yeah, right? Like, how to not bully each other on the internet is, like, literally a thing they have to talk about now. Just and, like, teach them how to code. And teach them how to do all these things that you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I always talk about that. Like, people always say some, like, because I played sports, and there's something, like, there's always going to be some talking shit. But most of the time, it's, like, good-natured. Yeah. It's, like, we're doing it to, like, get under your skin for the game. Yeah. But other than, like, once the game breaks, that's why, like, in mixed martial arts, all they do is fucking talk shit before they fight. Yeah. They fight, and they start hugging each other. Yeah. And, like, they don't care, because it was all part of the, like, it's just part of that game.
It's a sport.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just another aspect to MMA is that, and plus if you're also an entertainer, to put people in seats, you have to create some
tension.
Some arc, some story arc. I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I just total blank. MMA, it's gone. No, it's gone.
Websites.
It's totally gone.
Coding.
I had it. I had a point, and it's gone.
D&D. Start saying words. Okay. Nike.
No,
Harvard.
It's so gone. This happens to me way too often. This is how I know I'm getting old.
Wayward in my head.
This is how I know I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I never had a memory problem like this, and now I'm like,
oh yeah, I can't remember anything. I feel you.
Yeah, I'm getting back problems.
My hips, my mind.
Dude,
my
what
legs.
The fuck was I saying?
I just, like, you take your youth for granted until the one day you wake up and you're like, my back.
That's true.
You totally do.
It hurts.
But yeah, I can't remember. Like, I used to have this, like,
I can't
really
get
good
in that
memory.
position anymore.
And some things I still do. But you know how many times, like, I'll stop recording the podcast and someone will be like, oh, what'd you guys talk about? I'm like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't remember. I'll have to listen to it. That's really bad. And I had no idea what I was saying. No.
That's okay.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
What the fuck?
It'll come back around if it's meant
to. It will, and then people be like, dude, I was really interested in what you were saying. You forgot. Like, I have no idea. I'm going to listen to it and be like,
just going with the flow.
What was I saying?
I really don't know. I don't even know what we were talking about now.
MMA fighting, tension.
Oh, you're creating
shit.
the
now I remember. Yeah. It was, people will say, you'll have that sport, but once you remove us being this close and it's this, you'll say completely different things.
Yeah.
Nobody in basketball ever told me to kill myself, but people have a bunch of times online.
Right.
You know,
it's
like
what
a
the
weird
heck
shit.
Is
it's like,
that?
why is it just a screen? It's because you can't punch them. It's because you're not arm's length away to just beat the shit out of them.
The essence of the human is not right there.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly, it's that fear of physicality that makes people not not cross the line.
Yeah.
I've never been, and I don't think I ever will be, somebody who overblows like certain words or anything really. I'm pretty thick-skinned. Most of the time, I can decipher between intent. Yeah. I don't think that it's a word that's necessarily evil. I think it's how somebody's saying the word that makes it evil. Just like when somebody gives you advice. Someone gives you one. Two different people could say the exact same sentence, but if you change the tone and cadence, it changes completely what that sentence means to you.
Totally.
And so it's always about what the intent of what it was, or what you perceive the intent to be. And so it's just like this weird shit. Like someone in like Jesse or somebody could be like, dude, and say, go kill yourself or something like that. And I would never take it seriously. Yeah. Because I would know, and it wouldn't offend me. But if someone walked by and they heard it and they didn't know Jesse or whomever, they'd be like, dude, what? I just heard someone say this shit.
Right.
And so like none of that stuff bothers me. But it's good that they're putting that stuff into like kids' heads. Like, you guys need to learn, like, the internet's great. It's a great place. You can do so much with it, but you can make it real bad. Yeah. And you got to be somebody who's like willing to make it real good. Because it can be frustrating. You're like, dude, it's important. Like, I'm just trying to say hi.
Just be a decent human. Just be nice.
Like, I'm just joking with you, man. Just why
your life's a lot better when you're nice to each other.
Yeah. Oh, so much better. Yeah. I say that too, like specifically with the podcast. And I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this too with word of mouth. Like, just people talking about it does so much more than what anybody ever really realizes. Because almost always when people talk about clothing, talk about food, like a restaurant, they only share the negative. Mm-hmm. And no one ever really goes out of their way to share the positive, which is so insane to me. But that's just always how it goes. Almost never, as a manager, would I get a compliment on one of my employees at Cinetopia. I would only ever hear when they fucked up. But I knew that they were great employees. Yeah. Because I work with them every day. Yeah.
What is it? Humans inherently go toward the negative because, I mean, way back in the day when we actually had to fight for survival, that's what kept you alive.
Yeah.
So, but now it's like
just deep ingrained to our DNA.
Mm-hmm. It's like an instinctual thing that we no longer is necessary for survival, but it's just a way that we inherently are. So I think it's, it takes a lot to come past that.
Yeah,
some people are better at it than others.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Like, you inherently really do actually like to change into a more positive mindset and like do that. You have to consciously work at it. Yeah. And like make the establishments in your mind to have a better mindset, because if you don't, like, you will just naturally, you're cynical by nature. It's supposed to be there. Yeah. Literally is your survival instinct.
So crazy to me.
But
so before we end the podcast here, what's the next step for you guys, or what do you guys think is on the horizon for Wayward and Wild? Not specifically you guys personally, but like what you guys have things in, maybe stuff that you can't talk about necessarily, but like what do you guys want to see in the next year? Because you guys did something crazy, right? Stop working. Now you guys are doing your thing, and it's worked out. So what's the January crazy thing that you guys are gonna do?
Well, we are, after the holidays, definitely going to go travel to get a break for that, because we'll have a little bit of a lull. But I think our goals for next year are to get in more stores, have a better, like, I guess, like, online presence, marketing presence, just in general. Like, be more creative in that regard, because both of us love photography. We love videography. We love those sorts of things, but they've kind of fallen to the wayside with, like, my health this year and me being the champ, holding everything together while I was in recovery, and then just working on a better website, a better like branding strategy, really just
seems like
more creative, polishing things that needed to be polished. Is really like fine tuning.
I think the hard part is like you probably can get the social media like good for like a week, 2 weeks, and then it's like, well, I gotta get this thing done. Now I gotta get this thing done, and you just forget to post things. That's why, in my opinion, again, like streaming it can be a really easy way to make it so that you always have like an online presence, because all you'd have to do, your shit's already set up, stream, start doing your thing. You don't do anything different. You just talk, hang out.
See,
you don't really even have to address chat, because you guys are already doing it. People are going to be interested. It's the same reason why people will tune in now, not just because they're interested in you guys personally, but because they're interested in Wayward and Wild as a brand, but also how you guys started it and how you guys have kept it going. That's one thing that they're going to be very interested in.
Yeah.
And so if they can see kind of behind the scenes, that's why bloopers do well.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you want to see like,
you're
like, oh, like there's so many times where I watch like The Office. I'm like, how did they not just laugh the entire time? And then I go watch bloopers and it's like, they fucking did. This is the only time that they didn't laugh.
That's true.
That's so true.
So it's like it would be really interesting. And in terms of building an online presence, you guys would do a really good job in that.
There a way we can do that, but keep it like mobile? Like, because we move around a lot. Like, we just probably have to just be streaming off of our phone, because we're constantly moving. Laptop. We're constantly in one room, and then we're outside, and then we're...
You could, I mean, there's probably a bunch of different ways. I mean, to like set up cameras all over the fucking place and just switch scenes.
That's true.
That could work.
I just don't know. I don't know how, like, because you have to have the camera input somewhere. It has to, like, your computer would have to draw from that image somehow.
Yeah.
But like, you can do that with security cameras, right? They're not all plugged into your computer. They're plugged in onto like a server, and then you pull from the server.
Right.
So like, there's probably ways, but you can definitely do it from your phone or your iPad. If you guys wanted to keep it like super mobile, like here's your iPad, just sit it there. There's what they can see through that cam.
Well, because it would just be cool, even if we're just like streaming when we're on a hike.
You can definitely do that. The hardest part would be the internet.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's like we go off the grid a lot of the time, but just it would be cool to show.
Like by what are those? The 4G like mobile things, hotspots.
Yeah,
just connect to that.
Yeah, cool. I'd do it.
Yeah,
I think it's cool. I think it's another outlet that you do have something there.
You can also start off small. Just do it when you're coming up with ideas, or just do it when you're sitting down tagging stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
people watch people sleep.
Really?
That's a thing.
Like, there's been times where like somebody will be playing and they just get too drunk and they'll just like, and thousands of people will just show up.
That's so funny. I could definitely stream that.
Yeah, I could stream that.
There's so many times where, I mean, there's weird shit too. Like, there's a girl who sells her bathwater.
Okay, I'm in the wrong industry.
Right?
It's insane. So like you can like people are gonna be interested, and yeah, like
it's by my dirty bathwater.
Yeah, you want my bathwater?
Oh man,
the essence of my dirt.
It's so gross.
Sweat.
That's a okay.
I'll start selling dirty laundry water. That's the next.
That's the next one.
That's the next level.
You know, when I hear those things, you know, it's just like, you know, I get judgy for a second, but I'm like, you know what?
But,
people are gonna do it, and that's fine.
So this
yeah,
is
it's like
I
power
did.
to you. You freaking made money off your bathwater.
hustling
You were
off
doing
bath
something.
water.
So
like, do whatever you're doing.
I'm very similar, but I don't judge the person who's doing it. I judge the fucking weirdos who are buying it.
It's true. Like, what makes you want to spend your money on?
I was like, if you
bath
can sell that
water?
shit for $50, I guess fine. But like,
We
what are
think
you
about it,
doing
like-
with it?
Like foot fetish.
Yes,
People will buy like
Oh, I've talked about that all the time.
old shoes.
I've talked about that all the time. Like
I've had like
Tanya,
weird people on the internet want pictures of my feet.
Sell your feet,
Like,
dude.
nah.
I have like the world's biggest foot phobia.
Yeah.
Just like put me in
Yeah.
a room with someone that has a foot fetish. Someone's getting kicked.
So
in
you
the
gotta
face.
go to
Yeah.
you go to like a massage.
I
You, like,
can
rub your feet and you're like, get the fuck off my feet.
I can do that only because of like I get a pedicure. Only because I know that probably they've seen feet that are 20 times worse than mine.
Yeah, sure.
So it's that part I'm okay with, but it's like, I don't know, I don't like people touching my feet. I get weird when people look at my feet. Like, just don't stare.
I had this really satisfying moment. I remember I was sitting on the couch one time and my toes were cold and I stuck them under Michelle's butt and she like let them be there for like 5 minutes
like,
and I
"We're
was
friends."
like, we're friends.
Such
She
good
likes
friends.
me. It's like, you know when you like get to pet the cat that like
Yeah.
runs away all the time?
That's like
It was like
oh,
kind of like that.
Don't worry about my cat. He doesn't like anybody. He'll run away and it just like hops into your lap and you're like, oh fuck, this cat loves me.
This is a moment.
Yeah.
I feel honored. I
That's
was
awesome.
chosen.
That is awesome. Well, we're almost at 2 hours.
Oh dang.
That's how
Wow.
fast shit goes.
I think we're gonna end on foot fetish.
We'll end on
Foot fetish. Bathwater.
The-
Wayward and Wild, man.
yeah, I mean, there's so much you guys can do. It's crazy. But go ahead and shout out any like social media, the things that you guys where they can find you. Talk about that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. At Wayward and Wild on Instagram is usually our primary one. Our website is livewaywardandwild.com. For the holidays, we are going to be at a market almost every single weekend. I think the one that we're most excited about is going to be Snowvana at the Oregon Convention Center.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you can get basically anything Mountain Pass related, like Bachelor, Timberline.
Come watch some ski movies.
Come watch some ski,
premieres.
snow. Yeah, premieres. It's like $5 to get in, but it's like just rad.
That's cool.
Yeah, it should be a really cool event.
Yeah.
And that how many times is that one weekend?
It's the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Whatever that weekend is,
That was a good
November
time.
something. Yeah. And then we'll be at the America's Largest Christmas Bazaar, Black Friday weekend, and the weekend following. And then December we have other ones. They all kind of blend together. But if you look at the markets tab on the website, they will be posted there.
Cool.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thanks for joining me, guys. It was
Thanks
fun.
for having
Yeah.
us.
Thanks for talking.
Anytime you guys want to come back.
Woo.
In a year, we'll talk and we'll see where you guys are at.
Oh, that
That
would
would
be
be
fun.
interesting
I like
to
that.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about it.
September 15th next year, 2020.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate it, guys. Remember, you guys can follow Neighbors Podcast at Neighbor Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This episode posted on October 4th, so Kolbi's birthday.
Woo!
Kolbi will be 27 then.
Yeah.
Make sure to hit her up. Say happy birthday. Thanks, guys, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.